It's John Cole with DiscountJuicers.com today with another exciting episode for you. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and give away a Slowstar AI to one of you guys out there in YouTube land. But before I share with you guys how to enter this amazing giveaway, I want to show you guys the springtime Discount Juicer exclusive discount on the Slowstar AI juicer. Right now, from April 6th to April 11th, you can save 30% off the Slowstar AI juicer. If you've been looking for a hopper-based juicer that is easy to clean and is even optimized with AI technology that senses the type of produce you put in, so it either speeds up, slows down, which basically increases or decreases the amount of pressing time, that can make up to 15% more juice. Now is the time to get it while it is 30% off, the biggest discount Tribest ever gives on this machine. That brings this price down from $600 all the way down to $420, a $180 savings. To get this exclusive discount, make sure you guys go to the link down below, Tribest.com. Use exclusive coupon code DJX. That will only be good until April 11th. After April 11th, you guys can use a coupon code DJ to save 10% off the Slowstar AI. Alright guys, now I want to announce the amazing giveaway that Discount Juicers and Tribest is partnering together to offer you guys the free Slowstar AI, brand new in the box. Should you buy it with the discount and then win it, they'll basically refund your money. So don't think, oh, I'm going to try to win it, because the contest is also running on these specific dates, April 6th to April 11th. These are the only days you can enter to win the Slowstar AI, and the winner will be announced after the promotion period ends on the 11th. So make sure you guys go to the link down below, bit.ly/getajuicer, to enter to win. No purchase is necessary. And I want one of you guys out there in YouTube land to win this very juicer. Maybe somebody out there can't afford one of the latest and greatest juicers. So I'm glad that one of you guys out there will be winning a Slowstar AI, one of my favorite juicers that I like to use, and more importantly, clean at the end. Alright guys, so in this episode, I'm going to do one of my favorite ginger torture tests. Juicing ginger in some slow juicers can literally wreck them, because the gingers, the fibers will clog up the juicer parts, not eject. You won't be able to get your juicer apart, and in some cases I've actually even broken juicers juicing ginger. So this is not something you guys want to try at home. And in this ginger torture test comparison, I'll be comparing, of course, the Slowstar AI with its AI-based technology that actively senses, the produce that you're putting in, whether it's softer or harder. It'll speed up or slow down. You guys can see that's the AI mode. But in addition to the AI mode, the Slowstar AI is pre-programmed to be optimized to juice certain ingredients that can be hard in other juicers that are just dumb, like the Hurom H320 that I'll be comparing it against today. Basically has an on-off switch. You turn it on, it runs. You turn it off, it stops. This has an AC motor, runs at 50 revolutions per minute in the forward mode, or if you press a reverse mode momentarily, it'll run for 50 seconds in the reverse mode. Meanwhile, with the Slowstar AI, it has been optimized to juice things like apples, citrus, celery, pomegranates, carrots, grapes, watermelon, and even make sorbet. And if you're not juicing any of the ones on the display, just press the AI mode. That's when the machine goes into sensing the texture and the resistance on the screen and the motor when you're juicing. So this machine, unlike the Hurom, has a variable speed. This will operate anywhere from 32 RPM, which is the slowest vertical juicer that I'm aware of, all the way up to 60 RPMs, depending on what you put in there. So it will adjust automatically to get you guys the most extraction. And Tribest claims it's up to 15% more. In my testing to date, I've seen that it pretty much keeps up with and makes a similar yield to other machines of this quality. So it'll be interesting to test to see how it actually does when we do a head-to-head with ginger in just a few minutes. So of course I've had long-term relationships with Tribest and Hurom, some of the first brands that I sold when I started my business back in 1998. So I've been selling juicers over 25 years, and my goal has always been to get you guys, number one, the lowest prices, but more importantly, number two, educate you guys about the different juicers. Every different company that sell their juicers will try to always make out their juicers to be the best. And you know, sometimes that's true, and sometimes, in my opinion, that's not so true. So in this episode, I'm going to go ahead and cut through the fluff and show you guys my honest opinions and assessments of each of these juicers. And then, of course, at the end of this episode, we're going to stack them head to head against each other to juice even amounts of ginger to see if either of them gets messed up by the ginger. And yes, don't try this ginger torture test at home. I will be explaining how to properly juice ginger in a vertical juicer so that you don't have any problems, because I've gotten so many customer emails over the years. John, I was juicing ginger and the machine clogged and I can't get it apart, or it clogged and it broke, and all these crazy things, all right? So before we get into all that, let's go ahead and first compare these two machines. You first learn that this one has a variable speed, has the AI, will sense what you're putting in there and change the speed to get up to 15% more yield. It also uses a DC brushless motor technology, so it's also quieter as well. Another thing about this that you'll learn in a minute is that it is also easy clean. So unlike the standard Hurom design over here that has a stainless steel screen that you need to scrub and clean like many other juicers on the market, Tribest has gone to the easy clean system where you can literally just spray it down and it cleans simply and easily. The pro to this, of course, is the cleaning time, which takes me a little bit over a minute to clean the Slowstar AI, whereas on the Hurom or other machines that work just like the Hurom and look just like the Hurom, because Hurom probably made it for other companies out there, takes me about 4 to 5 minutes to clean properly to get all the screen holes cleaned out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start taking these machines apart and comparing the parts one by one. The first thing you'll notice is that the Slowstar AI appears to be taller than the Hurom, but when we set these on top, this basically recesses down even lower. So technically, if we move these machines next to each other, the Slowstar AI is a bit smaller, shorter. So this is going to easily fit under your kitchen cabinets. I always encourage you guys to leave your juicer out on your counter because it will get used more. That being said, what I don't like about the Slowstar AI is that where the pulp and the juice comes out is a lot lower than on most modern vertical hopper juicers, which are a lot higher. So this means you need to put a smaller collection cup underneath there to collect your juice. And so, yeah, that's the deal. I prefer the ones that are a bit taller, like on the Hurom, which is basically like the standard in the juicing industry. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and take these parts off and compare them. So, of course, both these machines have a hopper that you fill up. On the Hurom, you need to basically press this little latch button and then you lift up at the same time, whereas on the Tribest they made it a lot more easier. You just press your thumb on this little button and it just pops up. So, ease of use for sure. The Tribest, of course, both these machines have hoppers, so let's go ahead and take off the hopper on the Slowstar AI and the Hurom. So on the Hurom hopper, you guys can see it has a processing blade at the bottom that spins around to pre-cut the food before it goes in. The main thing is that these processing blades will pre-cut and feed in at the appropriate rate. This is a huge problem with manual feed vertical juicers. People would try to cram things in there too fast. It would clog and jam and give poor performance. Meanwhile, on the Slowstar AI, you can see it actually has a processing blade as well. But when we take off the hopper, it's just a tube. You know, so this is a lot easier to clean because of that. You know, once again, if we put this on here, you guys can see at the bottom there is once again a processing blade, but it's designed a little bit differently. So this processing blade basically is attached to the juicing auger. In addition, this processing blade is 304 stainless steel, which is better than the Ultim plastic on the Hurom. And then also I want to compare the opening, so you can see the opening on the Hurom, it's nice and large, whereas the opening on the Slowstar AI is a lot smaller. So this will also regulate how fast produce can go into the machine along with the RPMs of the machine. So, you know, if produce goes in too fast, then they have to process it more quickly and get it out more quickly, and then it may, you know, not get as high of a yield. That's why I really like the design of the Slowstar AI, because it can sense the resistance. If there's like a lot of resistance for something like carrots, it's probably going to slow that down, so it could slow down the grinding process. Grinding could happen slower, then there's more opportunity for the cell walls to be broken up and then the juice to be expelled. Whereas something like watermelon, I'm sure that runs at a higher RPM, because watermelon, you just touch it and juice comes out, and it's going to work a lot faster, all right? So that's the main difference. And then next up, on the Hurom, we're going to go ahead and pull this assembly out. And then over on the Slowstar AI, we're going to go ahead and pull this assembly out. So you can see the Slowstar AI has basically your auger, and then you have a juicing screen that has no stainless steel holes. They just have these slits, and these slits correspond with the slits in the bowl. So when you put these two together, it basically makes little lines. So the lines at the points, right here, there's two sides that juice could actually flow out of when you're juicing. So that's what it uses instead of the holes, whereas the traditional design on the H320 as well as other machines made by Hurom for other companies that use a very similar style design. Two other companies sell machines made in their Hurom factory that work this exact way, and almost I think the screen actually even looks identical, actually, and the wiping blade looks identical, as well as the auger. If the auger has like these little divots in there, right, then you know it's a Hurom-made auger, right? But nonetheless, this one, what happens is the produce goes down in between the auger and the screen, and it runs 50 RPMs, it crushes and squeezes the produce, grinds it up, and then the juice comes out these little small holes. This wiping blade is spinning around to basically squeegee down the screen to get all the juice to come out as well. So yeah, that's how this works. And then of course, the juice then comes out the spout cap here, and the pulp comes out over on this side that you can get into and easily clean on the bowl. Meanwhile, over on the Slowstar AI, works pretty much the same way. You know, you got the auger inside here spinning around, and as it's crushing the produce up, the juice is then expelled out these little slits that then come out over on this side, and then the pulp comes out over on this side, which is a reverse hatch, so that comes out so you can once again easily clean it as well. So they kind of work similar but a little bit different, because once again this is the new, more modern technology without the screen holes. The screen technology has been out over 20 years. They've been out for a long time on vertical juicers, because vertical juicers are about 20 years old now, and so this is just like standard, right? Honestly, to tell you guys the truth, like, I'm a bigger fan of the screenless design these days, because I don't really see the big advantage of this. The screenless designs in many cases get a similar yield, maybe a little bit more yield. They're faster to clean, so what this does is takes the impediment of juicing away. You know, I've juiced so many times over the years and I'm like done, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta clean that screen. I'm so tired, I'm so beat. The last thing I want to do is clean a juicer and then make sure I get every little single hole clear of pulp, because if you don't, I visited my friend in Puerto Rico and visited her house, and she had a screen juicer, and like I looked at the screen and it was just clogged full of pulp, and she's like, my juicer doesn't work anymore. I'm like, you're not cleaning your screen properly, and it's all ground in. Totally gross. But yeah, so you need to be really particular, careful, and if you're like an OCD person like me, cleaning screens are not an issue. They're just going to take you longer. But that's why I really love this design, where I literally just spray it down, it gets clean, and I don't have to deal with it. Yes, there is, I mean, the downside or upside, depending on how you look at it, these style machines do typically, but not in all cases, put a bit more pulp in the juice, but some pulp in the juice, and that's the insoluble fiber in the juice, to me is a benefit, not a hindrance. And of course, if you don't like this, just put a sieve as the juice comes out to catch the extra pulp and just chuck it away. You'll still have the easier cleaning, and then you'll still have the strain juice that a screen juicer would give you. Now, the other thing very important I want to discuss and touch upon is I want you guys to look at the augers, right? Which of these augers is longer? So this is another very important factor on the Slowstar AI as well. You know, it's like how much contact time is there as the produce is running through the machine. If the RPMs are the same, right, 50, which on this machine it could run at 32 RPMs as low as or as high as 60, you know, where is there going to be more grinding action? Of course, the longer auger, there's more time for the, you know, the fruit and vegetable fibers to be ground up. And when they're ground up to a finer consistency and ground up more because the auger is longer, then there's more opportunity to get the pulp drier and more juice and nutrition squeezed out of that pulp, whereas this auger is a lot shorter. So I'm going to say, I mean, almost the effective area of the Hurom is half as much. So what I'm going to tell you guys is that the effective area of grinding, which in my opinion is probably right about here, because this just does like an initial chop, is literally 2 times larger on the Slowstar AI to get a finer grind and potentially extract more juice out of the produce. In addition, this one could also run even slower, so that increases the contact time with the auger to grind up even finer. This also means that in general, it can also extract more nutrition out of the same given produce because you have a longer grinding period, and even it happens at a slower rate. And I think that's what I have noticed on the Slowstar AI. You know, if you're comparing it like juice nutrition, the Slowstar AI compared to other machines, due to the lower RPM and the more amount of grinding area, typically makes a little bit higher nutritional quality, if that is one of the most important things to you, you know. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to say. So next up, let's go ahead and get these machines reassembled. The Slowstar AI is a lot more easy to assemble, so maybe we'll do that first. You have the screen, you just drop that in any old way, there's no lining it up. You drop the auger in place, no lining it up. Once again, you take the hopper, and you do need to line that up. And there's a little white line where the handle is. You line that up over here on the unlock, and then you just go to the lock, and then you can go ahead and then put this on top of the Slowstar AI. The handle is always facing forward. Meanwhile, on the Hurom H320, what you need to do is you need to first take the wiping blade, put that around the screen. Then there's these little notches that you need to line up with the bowl with the right size notch. So it just drops in. Then you need to put the auger in. Make sure that's fully seated down. Then you need to take the top hopper and line that up, lock it in place, and put it on the machine. And then you're all ready and set up to juice in both machines. All right, guys, so next up, I actually want to do sound testing between these two machines to see which one is louder. All right, so first up, let's go ahead and do some sound testing on both machines to see which one is more loud. And first, we'll test the Hurom. So the Hurom running at 50 RPM AC motor. We're at like 60 to 61 decibels, so it's actually quite quiet. So next up, let's go ahead and check the Slowstar AI, and let's just go ahead and hit the caret button, and then we got to hit the start. So on the caret mode, it's running at a slow RPM to maximize the grinding and yield, and let's see how much it is. Wow, so in this case, the Slowstar AI is between 59 to 60 decibels, so it's like, you know, a little bit more quiet. And of course, this is running at the slow speed, and if the Slowstar AI is running at a higher speed like it is now, then it's likely to be a little bit louder. So yeah, pretty much both these machines are considered slow juicers, and they are actually really quiet. All right, next up, I want to talk about the warranties because that's very important to me. Both these machines have a full 15-year warranty on the motor and all the parts. I know especially you guys, some of you guys maybe, early adopters with new technology. I love getting the latest and greatest technology, and I have faith and trust in some of the companies that come out with some of the technology. But this one has a full 15-year warranty. I know some people have commented like, hey, the touchscreen could go bad, and there's different things that could go bad in here, the computers and all this stuff, whereas this one basically has an on-off switch and some magnetic sensors which actually have failed in the past, and a capacitor to start it up, but nonetheless, these machines have been very durable from what I've seen. I mean, Hurom is legendary in making machines that last a really long time, and on the flip side, DC motors are the latest motor technology that are supposed to be very durable and tend to not overheat. That's the next thing I need to say, is that on the Hurom, it has a 30-minute duty cycle based on the instruction manual, and if you go to the instruction manual of the Slowstar AI, it's rated at 15 minutes. That did concern me greatly, but then when I reached out to the president of Tribest, they basically are telling me that the 15-minute duty cycle is based on running it with something that's going to give the biggest torque load on the machine, which would be the sorbet. So if you're making sorbet, 15-minute run time, but if you're juicing something really light, like some fruit, he said that run time could be like an hour. If it's something like carrots, maybe midway, maybe like a half hour, 45 minutes. So, and of course, I myself have juiced several times, as well as heard from my customers that have bought the Slowstar AI, have used it for 45 minutes to an hour without any problem, just juicing regular juicing recipes. And if I had to say which company would I prefer to work with if I had a customer service issue after the fact, I mean, my honest opinion is that Tribest pretty much is a few steps above, although I've heard, complaints against Tribest over the years. But nonetheless, should you buy one of these machines with my coupon code, and then the companies, either of them, don't take care of you, then contact me personally. I'll personally make sure you are taken care of. Other little details that I didn't really talk about earlier is that the Tribest has a hopper that is rated at 1.5 liters, and the Hurom H320 has a hopper that is rated at 2 liters. So the hopper size on the H320 is a little bit larger than the Slowstar AI. Alright, so up next, let's go ahead and do the ginger torture test in both machines, and hopefully they both pass. Alright guys, so first up, we're going to go ahead and do a weigh-in of the ginger to make sure we have a fair fight. So over on the Slowstar AI side, we got 1062.8, and over on the Hurom side, we got 1062.8. So we have an even fight, so let's get into juicing. Alright guys, so first, before I juice the ginger and do the torture test, I want to show you guys more about ginger so that you don't have problems when you guys juice ginger, because ginger is not ginger is not ginger, right? If you go to the store and buy Granny Smith apples, you know you're getting a tart apple. You could go to the store and get Fuji apples, and it's a totally different apple. It's a lot sweeter. If you get the Honeycrisp, they have that nice little crunch, right? Same thing with ginger. When you go to the store, you buy ginger, it's just labeled ginger, but people don't understand there's many different cultivars or varieties of gingers, much like there are like apples. So for example, today I'm juicing this ginger. This is conventionally grown ginger from China. And the Chinese ginger tends to be very large and big. In addition, depending on where you go to buy your ginger, if you just go to an American grocery stores don't typically sell a whole lot of ginger. People might use it here and there, but I went to a Mexican market or an Asian market to buy this ginger where they sell a lot of ginger regularly, because ginger is used in those style cuisines more often. And then you have fresher ginger that literally just came in off the truck that is not all hard and fibrous, okay? So whenever you can, try to find the Chinese ginger to juice in a vertical juicer if you want to juice it like I'm showing you guys today without any problems. Otherwise, it can be highly problematic. So I want to show you guys another type of ginger I also have here today. This is organic ginger from Peru. And as you can see, this is a lot smaller style ginger. If this is the kind of ginger you have that's a lot smaller like this, right, then you definitely don't want to do what I'm going to show you guys that I'm doing with the Chinese ginger, because this is totally a different kind of ginger. It's smaller, it's more fibrous, it's more thick, probably a bit more stronger tasting as well. You know, so for that reason, I recommend you guys always pre-cut your ginger like I'll show you guys right now. So in the ginger, the biggest problem with the ginger is the fibers in the ginger. On the Chinese ginger, the fibers are very thin, right? You can see some of the fibers that I just took off there, but there's not a lot of fibers in this. But if this was a fibrous ginger, such as this ginger here from Peru, if it's a lot smaller, then you want to cut it against the grain. So basically, you know, say this is like the whole head of ginger. The fibers are running a long ways like this direction, right? It doesn't run across, it runs up. As the ginger grows, the fibers stretch through the whole ginger. So what you want to do is you want to take your knife and you want to slice it up into slices against the grain. And I'm slicing it into like 1/8 inch slices against the grain, and I'm just working my way down along the long side of the ginger. So as you guys can see, as I'm going, I'm just slicing down, and this is the ideal way to process ginger, not the way I'm going to demonstrate for the torture test, but this is the way to be assured whether you have the Chinese ginger like I have, like I'm cutting up today, or whether you have the Peruvian organic ginger or some other kind of ginger that's more fibrous. You want to pre-cut it like this for optimal success, and then you would basically take all this pre-cut ginger and then load it up into the hopper, and then you definitely should not have any issues. Sometimes I'll even cut it a little bit thinner than this just to make sure I don't have any issues. And also, what you juice with the ginger can play a big role on if it clogs or jams. If you're juicing something with like carrots with ginger, that helps the ginger juice and not get clogged and jammed. And if you're juicing something like pineapples and you didn't cut the pineapple core properly, then that can encourage your ginger still to jam in your juicer. So whatever you're processing, you want to make sure you pre-cut it properly. Link down below to my video on how to properly pre-cut pineapple to juice in a vertical juicer. Alright guys, so now I'll be juicing the uncut ginger, and that's why I'm calling this a ginger torture test. Do not do this at home or you may clog and jam your juicer and it's going to be a nightmare, alright? Nonetheless, I like to basically put the machines to the test so that you guys could find out what it could do, and I could find out what it could do, and I could really, you know, find out which machines are the best. So let's go ahead and open up both these hoppers and get the ginger loaded up, and basically I'm going to take the ginger and just break it off into little pieces that it comes in and just basically pile it in the machine. I'm not going to break them up into little bits or nothing like that, but we're just going to break them up into just the little fingers that come off, the whole chunks. We may need to fill up the machine like twice because we won't be able to fit the last one, the last hand in there. And same thing on the Slowstar AI, we're just going to break off the hands on it. Alright, so it looks like we almost got all the ginger fit into the Slowstar AI despite having a smaller hopper size. It might just be the way they laid in there. Nonetheless, we'll just put these off to the side here and we'll put it in as machines are running. And we're going to go ahead and time the process to see how long it takes. Now, the other thing about the Slowstar AI is that it can sense if there's a torque load, it'll, you know, speed up or slow down. In addition, this will auto reverse. If it should get clogged and jammed, it will auto reverse and then start again. Whereas on the Hurom, if it gets clogged or jammed, it will just stop, and then you'll have to manually hit the reverse and then hit the start again. So I'm curious to see what actually happens when we juice even amounts of ginger in both machines. So with that, let's go ahead and hit the start button, and let's go ahead and turn the machine on and press the start at the same time. Alright, we're off to the races. We're starting to juice, so let's find out how long it takes to juice all this ginger and how much yield is made in both machines. Alright, the juice is coming out of the Slowstar AI first before the Hurom, and it's juicing. And let's see, pulp is not yet coming out. Oh, pulp's coming out of the Hurom, and pulp's not yet coming out of the Slowstar AI. So we're going to go ahead and speed this part of the video up for you guys and come back at you when we're all done. Alright guys, so we're at 3 minutes and 25 seconds. Hurom is almost done, but there's one piece of ginger that's just sitting and spinning on the processing blade that seemed to get stuck. So we're just going to go ahead and hit stop and hit reverse, get it unstuck, and then press start again. Alright, and then we got it in there. So there's a little bit of work to do, but it looks like it's finishing up juicing the ginger right now in the Hurom. Pretty much, I'm going to call that, it took 4 minutes in the Hurom. Meanwhile, the Slowstar AI is still going. It actually just emptied the hopper. Looks like we're getting the final bits of juice out. So actually we're going to wait until each of the machines stop, and then we're going to go ahead and give you guys the official stop time. Alright guys, so it looks like, I mean, they're both still dripping. I don't know how long I'm just going to let them sit here because the pulp stopped moving out of both of them. So yeah, I mean, they could just continue to sit here and drip forever, literally. So we're going to go ahead and call it. So we're going to say basically 4.5 minutes it took each juicer. If I had to say one finish first, it would be the Hurom, which basically put the produce through a little bit quicker with a larger hole, would feed it in faster, whereas this one seemed to, you know, be slower off to the races and take its time to juice the ginger. This will be interesting to see how this affected the yield. So let's go ahead and turn both machines off. I do like, after you turn the Slowstar AI off, how it basically will auto-reverse for you guys to try to clear it out, get a little bit more juice out. And of course on both machines, I always like to pick it up and then tip it down just to make sure we get any final last drips of juice out of the juicing bowl. And the Slowstar AI a little bit more difficult here because to lift it up, we got to lift the whole assembly out, and it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of juice left in there. Also want to show you guys inside the Slowstar AI, if you guys can see that. There's not a lot of fiber that glugged through the juicing screen. There's just like a little hints of fiber on the bottom, unlike when I did carrots when this area was highly impacted. Alright, so next up, let's go ahead and compare the yields to see which one of these machines made more juice. Alright guys, let's go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the yields. First up, we're going to go ahead and give you guys a close-up on the yield on the Hurom side. Looks like we got about 925 milliliters of juice. And if we go over to the Slowstar AI side, very similar. Wow, but check it out. Looks like we got a little tad bit more, maybe 950 milliliters of juice. So this is like a very close race, guys. The Slowstar AI took a little bit longer, but actually made a little bit more yield as well. Alright guys, I wasn't expecting that. Like, wow, you know, the Screenless design machines have literally come up to par. I'm not going to say in all cases this one's going to win, but you know what? It's so neck and neck, you know, with the modern machines of this day and age, of this price category. You know, it's like, oh, the screens are better, they make more yield. Not always, guys. So I want you guys to be aware of this. In addition, if we look at these ginger juices, I don't know if you guys can see the color on that, but you know, to me, the Slowstar AI juice looks a lot more vibrant and colorful, whereas on the juice from the Hurom looks a bit more dull. So what would I say is causing this? I would say because of the higher RPM and the way this machine works, right? It maybe oxidizes a bit more, or maybe because of the way this one works at a lower RPM, squeezing harder and faster, got out more nutrition. But this one looks a lot more vibrant. Let's go ahead and do a taste test here real quick for you guys. My daily ginger shot here. So that's a nice juice there. Let's go ahead and try it. Definitely tasting some grit in there. Whew. That'll knock you out, guys. That's strong. Let's go ahead and try this one. I'm also tasting some grit in there too. That's some spicy stuff. Whew. All right. I can't really say one tastes better than the other. They're so comfortable, and of course both of them were successful at making the ginger without clogging or jamming. Once again, caveat is, this is a Chinese ginger that was quite soft, that was fresh. They literally took it out of the crates that they came in, the cases, put it for sale. I'm like, oh, fresh ginger came in, I gotta juice this stuff up. I bought it, came it home, and, you know, juice without an issue. Next up, I want to go ahead and compare the pulp that came out of each machine. Let's go ahead and get the pulp out of the Hurom H320. And then the pulp that came out of the Slowstar AI. Both pulps are kind of like stuck in there. And this is quite interesting, guys. Like, look at the pulp differences. You guys see the difference? Like, one has a lot more pulp and one has a lot less pulp. You know, so what I'm going to say is that, like, this one, the pulp is lighter, the pulp is darker. So this would also be reflective of, like, mixing in more oxygen as it's being juiced. That would make the pulp a little bit darker, in my opinion. Also, the juice a bit darker, as I noticed. Whereas this pulp is a lot more brighter. So this is giving you a clean cold press. In addition, this pulp seems to be, you know, basically ground down more and squeezed out more. I mean, of course, we made a tad bit more yield, but this seems a little more compacted, and this one's a bit more loose. So let's go ahead and pick it up and squeeze it. And as you can see, I could squeeze it. Squeeze 3 drops out of it. This is really dry, guys. I'm quite impressed on how well a vertical juicer juiced this ginger. And let's go ahead and pick up the Hurom pulp. The Hurom pulp, guys, I could squeeze a lot more juice out of. You know, so in this case, wow, right? This design is old. Original machines that came out with this style design came out in 2021. And a lot of you guys are still buying these old style machines that many influencers still promote to this day. This is inferior technology. The Slowstar AI literally just came out within the last 6 months. This is the latest technology, right? Technology always gets better. And of course, this has that AI technology. Is the AI technology the reason why this machine got the pulp drier and made more yield? Or is it because of the longer run on the auger? Or is it because of the slower speed? I don't really know, and I don't really care. But the fact of the matter is, in this performance test, the Slowstar AI clearly took it, made more yield, made a drier pulp. I mean, it did take a little bit longer. And of course, the thing that puts a smile on my face the most, now that I'm done with this demo, is the cleaning. Because now when I'm done with this, I just spray it off. And on the Hurom, I'm going to have to sit there and scrub with a brush. And it's going to take me 4 to 5 times longer to clean. So which one would get you more excited about juicing, right? Less yield, a little bit more ruddy juice, or a higher quality juice that's nice and vibrant, less cleaning? Maybe, guys, it is the time to upgrade to the AI technology in your juicer, because based on my test to date, and I've done several tests where I test the quality always seems superior in the Slowstar AI due to the lower RPM and better grinding and less air infiltration during the juicing process due to the design of the machine. So if juice quality is paramount and you want a vertical hopper juicer, clearly there's no other winner than the Slowstar AI. Basically, at the end of this episode, I'm going to declare the winner of this juice off comparison, the Slowstar AI that was not fumbled by the ginger. It juiced ginger perfectly. It made a higher yield, more nutritious juice, and is even easier to clean. And more importantly, this machine is less money than machines with the screen juicers if you guys buy it right now. April 6th to April 11th, the biggest discount Tribest ever gives on their Slowstar AI model. 30% off right now for you guys that are watching this episode. Don't delay. Take advantage of this promotional offer. It may not be this cheap ever again until Black Friday. So you guys can use the coupon code DJX at Tribest.com. Link is down below. Save 30% off. That'll make your price of the Slowstar AI literally $419, which is several $100s less than the Hurom H320. If you guys want to get the Hurom H320, I got you guys the hookup on that as well. You guys could use a coupon code GINGER for the Hurom H320 and save 10% off the price. At this point, between these two machines, the winner is clear. I'm a big fan of the Screenless design and I would only go with the Slowstar AI in this case. Now, when you guys use either of those coupon codes in the links down below, the companies will share me a small commission so I can continue to make these educational videos for you guys, give you guys honest, legitimate comparisons where I weigh out the produce, juice the exact same things, and more importantly, share my expert commentary and more importantly, tips, especially on pre-cutting your ginger if you're not getting this Chinese ginger that's fresh right out of the case from the store when they got it in literally the same day, so that you guys don't have any issues and that you guys also know the differences between the machines and more importantly, why there are differences in the machines. I just don't explain the yield, but I explain why is there an increase in yield, why is the juice more vibrant, you know, and that is because of the technology in the Slowstar AI. So thank you for you guys' support who will use my coupon codes. It allows me to buy my ginger, pay my light bill, pay my amazing video editor so I can get these videos out to you guys and show you guys the truth about juicers that unfortunately other channels simply do not do. Most influencers are tied to one brand or another. I have relationships with all the major brands out there, and my goal is to share with you guys simply the best, and I don't care which one it really is. I share with you guys the truth because in our society today, unfortunately, the truth is being hidden from us, and there's a lot of things that are untruths being spoken. But at least in the juicing field, I could bring you guys the truth, so I want to thank you guys who have supported me past or will support me in the future to get the latest and greatest machine. That being said, if you guys don't have the money right now to buy the Slowstar AI, then definitely enter that free giveaway. That giveaway is also running from April 6th to April 11th, and you guys may even win the latest and greatest juicer that has AI technology and brings it into your kitchen that auto adjusts the speed, so you guys are going to get the maximum extraction and a highest quality juice. Once again, link down below to that, bit.ly/getajuicer. One of you guys are gonna win, and maybe it'll be you. All right, so if you guys enjoyed this episode where I did the ginger torture test and the Slowstar AI and the Hurom H320, please be sure to give this a big thumbs up. More importantly, share this with other people that are into juicing so that they can learn about the latest technology that is slowly changing the juicing industry. Also, be sure to click that subscribe button right down below so you don't miss my new and upcoming episodes. I've command every 5 to 7 days. You never know what new appliances I'll be unboxing, what new juicers I'll be comparing against each other, or what new juicing nuggets I'll be showing you guys so that you guys can eat more fruits and vegetables and other plant foods in the best ways possible. Make sure you click the little bell so you get notified as many videos come out. And finally, be sure to check your past episodes. Past episodes are a wealth of knowledge, over 900 episodes at this time on this channel, dedicated to you guys all about the juicers and other appliances that allow you to process your fruits and vegetables and other plant foods and maintain the highest level of nutrition for the maximum health benefit. Links down below also to my original unboxing of the Slowstar AI, as well as other videos I've done with the Slowstar AI so you guys can see how it actually performs in real-world tests. So with that, my name is John Kohler with DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.